folks, and welcome to Tuneful Tuesdays. And something occurred to me. I haven't been doing the trivia question for the last couple of videos. Now, why is that? Is it some strange conspiracy? Well, no, I just forgot. I just forgot. I was concentrating so much on the content itself, the main video content, I forgot. So I'm going to put that to rights, and I'm going to sort out a trivia question for you right now. And the subject of the trivia question for this week, well, it's going to surround an awards ceremony. Now, for my friends in America, in the US, you have awards shows like the Grammys and whatnot. There's an array of them, isn't there? Now in the UK, we have a little ding-dong called the Brit Awards. It goes back a little way. It's not too deep a history, but yeah, it goes back a little way. And it's one of those historical shows, one of those historical evenings. I want to focus on this trivia question. So let's get straight to that, shall we? And the question is this: who made a particularly memorable appearance at the 1985 Brit Awards, making his way to the stage in the hulking slipstream of 6'8" bodyguard Big Chick Huntsbury? Do you remember that? 1985? So, who was that person who trailed after this enormous great bodyguard to collect his award? Now, as this is just a bit of fun, no poking around Google, please. Try and work it out if you can, and I'll give you a full answer at the end of this video. But for now, let's get to the meat of the matter, shall we? And we're looking at Masterworks, and the subject of this particular Masterworks is a classic group and a classic album. It's The Drifters, and the album is the 1964 release of Under the Boardwalk. Now, there are few R&B groups out there that have had the impact on music, and by association the pop charts, as the Drifters. There are also few groups that have experienced so many ructions and so many changes. When Domino's lead singer Clyde McPhatter left that group in the late 40s, it was dedicated music fan and record collector Ahmet Artagan who pursued and signed him up for his newly formed little publishing project that he liked to call Atlantic. Artagan encouraged McPhatter to start a group all of his own, which McPhatter did, and he called his new outfit The Drifters, because apparently the group members drifted into the new group from other collectives, and drift they did. McPhatter riffled through over a dozen friends before he settled on his chosen few. When that first group was found, they released a single which didn't do a lot, so that group was summarily dumped, and a whole new outfit was created in its place under McPhatter. This one hit the spots and also #1 in the charts with the song Money Honey, a candidate, one of many, for the first ever rock and roll record. The lineups continued to change though. Then McPhatter himself, he left in 1954 for a solo career. David Bourne followed, then Bobby Hendricks, Johnny Moore, Charlie Thomas, he arrived, and then Benjamin Earl Nelson. He took over, then he changed his name to the more familiar Ben E. King. After him was Johnny Williams. Then the 60s hit and Rudy Lewis entered the fray, and in addition to that, lineup changes and management changes were happening. So nothing really stayed the same when it came to being associated with the Drifters. This album, Under the Boardwalk, would be released after the Our Biggest Hits release that also appeared in the same year, 1964, the year I was born. So you can do your quick calculations on that, I'm sure. In fact, the two albums shared a track listing and a basic sleeve art design until the single Under the Boardwalk hit the charts. This would be the band's final top 10 hit. So our biggest hits changed to Under the Boardwalk because the track Under the Boardwalk was slotted in place, which meant that the song Drip Drop was out. And also the sleeve art, well, that changed to note that particular tweak. Now the release of this album remained a little muted because the group had lost their lead singer of 4 years, Rudy Lewis. A marathon time for any Drifters group member, never mind a lead singer. Now, it's been reported that Lewis was a gay man when the social mores of the time demanded that being gay was particularly tough on the individual. Hence, Lewis kept his sexual orientation to himself. He also reportedly suffered from an eating disorder and had issues with the drug heroin, although some people do contest that particular item of information. Now, with the tragic loss of Lewis, Johnny Moore stepped back into the fray as lead tenor. He will be the group's longest lasting lead singer. So what you get with this excellent album is a bit of a weird mixture of tracks, because you've got Lewis, who was in the chair, but Moore sang lead, and other songs that were successful for the Lewis-led group, such as Up on the Roof and On Broadway. So in effect, both singers, well, they share the spotlight here, and they do superbly well. Even the producer, a chap named Bert Burns, did a magnificent job behind the desk. He was guiding the band through their final recording successes. After this release, the group, well, unfortunately, the group would suffer rather. Their own smooth and rather gentle soul sound would be, I suppose, trampled upon by a newer, harder brand of soul emanating from the likes of Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett. Drifters, well, the Drifters found it hard to adjust. They even suffered in the UK during the very height of their US success because their own hit singles were covered by other UK artists, which tended to take the glory away from the Drifters themselves. So it wasn't until a new breed of rock bands hit the charts in the mid-60s that the Drifters found a new swathe of recognition and respect. For example, the Drifters' songs were covered by the Rolling Stones, they were covered by the Moody Blues and people like Cliff Bennett. Now, you can check out this particular album in a rather unique form via a recently released box set from a label called Strawberry, and that's called We Gotta Sing the Soul Years 1962 to 1971. I'll put a little link below. You can have a closer look at your leisure. This is effectively a 3 CD box set found in a rather nice clamshell box. The collection presents a chronological list of all of the recording sessions from the group recorded for the Atlantic label between the 28th of June 1962 and the 5th of January 1971. The set itself includes lots of interesting background information, plus lineup changes, credit information, and more. And that's it, folks. Thank you very much for sticking to the end of this Masterworks video. So, what about the answer to the trivia question regarding the Brit Awards? Now, let me remind you of that question. And it is, who made a particularly memorable appearance at the 1985 Brit Awards, making his way to the stage behind the bodyguard Big Chick Hunsbury, who spanned 6 foot 8 inches? And the answer to that is Prince. Now, Prince may have only been 5'3", but there was not much chance he was going to come to any harm when making his way from his table to the stage at London's Grosvenor House, and it didn't appear that he was prepared to take any risks whatsoever. His huge bodyguard, who in his vest and braces was dressed less for the formal affair in Park Lane than St Patrick's Day in a biker bar, went slowly and gradually before him. Britain sat enthralled as Prince followed to collect his awards for Best International Act and Best Soundtrack. This occasion and this spectacle, well, it kind of made his name in the UK. And that's it, folks. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. And thank you again for all of your support over the months, decades and millennia. Now, if you fancy checking below, you'll be able to look at the chapter headings if you want to navigate around this video. There's also other links down yonder. You can check out my Facebook group, and you're welcome to join that if you wish, and also look at my website, which has a host of material you won't find on this channel. Check out my Patreon page too, and please consider supporting me on that. It keeps this YouTube channel running. And I'll be back next weekend-ish. Depends if you're a Patreon supporter. You'll see an early bird video, a hi-fi related video on a Friday. If not, I'll be around on a Sunday, as I say, with something hi-fi flavoured. It'd be great to see you then. Love to have your company. Until that time, folks. Bye-bye for now.